Thong had always been careful about the way he lived his life, quiet, studious, and mostly invisible in the campus halls of his university. He lay in the corner seat in the library, the window desk in class, and the late night walk back to his dorm when the world was too tired to notice him, but someone noticed it. A stranger with mask and hoodie, or a stalker who is watching him all the time. At first, Tong thought it was coincidence, seeing the same boy at the bus stop, catching him in the cafeteria line, though they never shared classes, noticing him lingering outside the library doors when Tong left at midnight. But then a stranger smiled at him one evening, a smile that didn't reach his eyes, a smile that promised something Tong didn't understand. What Tong didn't know was that the stranger had memorized the rhythm of his step, the way his hand brushed through his hair when nervous, he exact time he left and returned to his dorm, and at the another side of his stalker's room was filled with little things, stolen notes, a photo from Thong's Instagram printed out, the wrapper of chocolate Thong had thrown away. His stalker didn't just like him, he owned him, and Thong was about to find out what it means to be wanted by someone, or maybe from two persons at the same time, who never learned how to let go. That morning, Tong dressed the way he always loved to, confidence in every choice. A soft cream blouse tucked neatly into the pleated skirt that brushed just above his knee, paired with his favorite sneakers. His friends sometimes teased him, others shuddered, but Tong never cared. He was proud, unapologetic, and free. He waited at the bus stop, scrolling through his phone with one earbud in. When the bus arrived, he stepped inside, moving toward an empty spot. He preferred standing. It gave him space, gave him control, but the second he grabbed the pole, he felt a pair of eyes on him, unblinking, sharp, following every small shift of his body. The stranger sat just beside him, hood covering his whole forehead, or maybe his eyes. Just sat beside him, mask hiding most of his face. Only his dark eyes visible. Thong didn't notice him. Not really. Not yet. What Thong did notice was the small sound of click of the phone camera. He turned it slightly, frowning. The cocked side of a student at his another side, angling his phone under the seat. Sneaking a picture of his leg, he felt disgusted and exhausted, his lips parting to say something, but he didn't get a chance. The bus hit a small bump, shaking everyone in the seat. In that second, stranger had gripped Thong's waist and yanking him down, straight onto his lap. Thong gasped, eyes wide. His body froze as stranger's arm wrapped firmly around his waist, locking him in place. His other hand slid down with hesitation, fingers spreading possessively over Thong's thighs, holding him as though he had every right to. What? Tong stammered, trying to rise, but Stranger's grip only tightened from behind a mask. Stranger's gaze burning into him, cold, sharp, dangerous. It's steady, like he had been waiting for this moment. Tong rose, cheek flushing, deep red. His heart pounded so hard he thought people could hear it. It wasn't scared. Not exactly. He wasn't annoyed either. He was shocked, flustered, and for some strange, confusing reason, there were butterflies in his stomach. No stranger had ever touched him like this. No one had ever held him with so much certainty, like they already owned him. And that hand, firm and possessive on his thigh, sparked up his skin. He couldn't explain. The bus jolted again, a sharp bump this time. Tong lost his balance. His body fell forward, face pressed against the stranger's chest. The hard line of his muscles beneath the body made his breath hitch. Before he could pull away, a low groan escaped from behind his mask. Fingers on his thighs squeezing tighter, possessive and dangerous. Tong shakes flamed. Sorry, he mumbled, shifting awkwardly to the seat straightener. That's when he heard a husky voice, deep and raw against his ear. My angel, you are too close to something that's about to get up. Tom froze, his eyes widening in shock, his lips parting in disbelief. Heat shot up to his neck as the words sank in. He immediately tried to scramble up, stuttering, "I'm sorry." The stranger's arm tightened around, keeping him firmly gagged on his lap. "Shh," stranger murmured, eyes glinting dangerously from under the hood. "Stay still. There's no space anyway." Tong looked around desperately and realized that he was right. The bus was crowded, students pressed shoulder to shoulder, standing room cold. If he tried to get up, he would only draw attention to himself and to the emulation situation. So he stayed, heart racing, hand gripping the bag tight on his lap, lips pressed together as if that could calm the storm inside him. He sat like a statue, refusing to move, refusing to react. But the hand on his thigh didn't stop, fingers tightening every so slightly, kneading, squeezing, as though they had every right to touch him. Tong swallowed hard. He didn't know why his body wasn't fighting harder. Why isn't he bit disgusted? It's odd. Dangerous flutter deep in his stomach. He had no idea who this stranger was, and it, for a reason he couldn't explain, he let him. The bus stopped at the university gate. Tong shut up the moment the door opened, clutching the bag tightly. He didn't dare to glance back at the stranger, whose lap he had unwillingly occupied the entire ride. His cheeks still burned, his heart still raced, and he hated that he didn't hate it. But before he could think too much, he rushed out, disappearing into the crowd of students behind him. Stranger rose slowly, his hood still low, mask in place. His eyes followed Tong's retreating figure. The sway of his skirt, the bounce of his step, the faint lingering scent of vanilla shampoo that still clung to his hoodie. Jungkook tilted his head back slightly, inhaling deep. Perfect, he whispered to himself, lips curling into a smirk. But then his gaze snapped to the side. The same student who had been sneaking picture earlier was standing with his friend, showing them his phone, laughing cruelly. Jungkook's eyes darkened. Without hesitation, he walked over, grabbing the boy's wrist in a voice-like grip. The boy blinked in shock. What the hell? Jungkook stopped in a quiet alley. The boy's friends followed them. Phone, Jungkook said coldly. His voice was low, dangerous. The boy scoffed. Why would I give it to you? Jungkook, delete the picture. Jungkook's tone left no room to argument. The boy sneered. Oh, that picture, that gay boy in his skirt? Why? You jealous? Or? He smirked wider, leaning closer. Do you wanna see his temptingly? Crack. The boy stumbled back, clutching his jaw, blood dripping from his pet lips. The Jungkook's face still hovering in the air, wind bugging, his eyes black with fury. Say one word about him. Jungkook growled, voice low and lethal. And I will rip your mouth apart with my bare hands. The boy's friend immediately running out of the alley in fear, but the one with the phone trembled, frozen in place. With snaking hand, he extended his phone. Oh, okay, fine, you can delete it yourself. But Jungkook only smirked. Slowly, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small fleck of lighter fluid. Without hesitation, he poured it all over the phone. The boy's eyes went wide. What are you doing? No, no, no. Jungkook flicked open the silver Zippo lighter, the flame dancing in his eyes. With a flick of his wrist, he tossed it into the phone. Whoosh! The device burned into flame on the ground. Boy, no, 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 please! The boy cried, crouching down in panic. My assignments are still there. Please stop. He tried to beat the flame with his bare hand, but the fire only lightened it higher, burning his skin. He screamed in pain, tears streaming down his face. Jungkook crouches beside him, gripping the fistful of his hair, yanking him back cruelly, his mask slipping down just enough to show his sweetest smirk. This, Jungkook says, pressing the boy's burning hand harder on the ground, is for daring to take inappropriate picture of what's mine. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a chilling whisper. Only mine. The boy sobbed, nodding frantically, too terrified to speak. Jungkook releases him with a show, standing tall in as he adjusted his hoodie, his eyes flickering back toward the direction Tong had gone, his mask returning. No one was allowed to look at him. No one was allowed to touch him. No one was allowed to claim him because Tong was his. And soon, the whole world would know it. Tong sat near the window in the lecture hall, his usual spot, trying to stay invisible. He had worked late into the night. Perfect. His assignment. Every detail was neat, every word careful, chosen. He couldn't afford mistake. The professor walked in, adjusting his glasses. Everyone, pass your assignment forward. Today is the last day. No excuses. Tong heart jumped. He reached into his bag with confidence, only to find nothing. Confused, he dug deeper. Then he dumped the entire content of his bag into the desk. Pen, notebook, even a lunchbox, but the assignment wasn't there. His throat went dry. What? Jimin, his only friend, leaned closer. Check again, maybe it slipped into the notebook. Tong hand trembled as he flipped through the pages. Every folder, still nothing. He had checked his bag this morning. It wasn't there. How could it? Professor, Kim Tong. The professor was snapped his attention. Where is your work? Tong stood up slowly, his head bowed. I am sorry, Professor. I must have misplaced it. The professor's expression hardened. Misplaced? Do you think this is a game? Do you realize how important this is? Get out of my class. I don't want to see your face here today. Our shop stood across the room, followed by Snickers. Then, of course, it's him. Faker. The skirt wearing freak can't even keep track of homework. Does he think looking pretty excuse him from actual work? Pretty face with empty mind. What a freak. Gay people deserve this much, or much more. Their whispers stung force. Then the professor word. Tong's vision blurred as he felt humiliated. His hands clenched tightly around his back strap. He wanted to disappear. Jimin tried to speak up, but Tong shook his head quickly, forcing a small, trembling smile. He didn't want his only friend dragged into this too. With his head bowed, he gathered his things and walked out of the classroom. The laughter still echoed behind him like knives to his back. What Tong didn't know, what no one noticed, was that in the dark corner near the hallway window, a pair of eyes had been watching. Stranger leaned against the wall, hood still up, arm crossed, his gaze burning with rage, watching his angel being humiliated, listening to the mocking laughter. Jungkook jaw clenched so hard that his teeth itched. They dared to laugh at his tongue. They dared to shame what belongs to him. His hand tightened into a fist. They would regret it. On the other side of the campus, Tong sat curled up in a quiet corner, his back tossed beside him, his head buried in his hand. His shoulders shook as he tried to hold back his sob, but the pain wouldn't stop pouring out. The sting of the professor's word, the mocking laughter of the classmates, the endless judgment he endured for being himself. Why is always me? He whispered, tears slipping down his cheek quietly, unnoticed. Stranger approached from behind. He crouched low, slipping the neatly bound assignment into Tong's bag and left without a sound. He knew everything about Tong. His schedule, his habit, his fear. He had even broken into his home before, seen the assignment on his desk, and taken it with him, just in case, because a good protector was always prepared. Minute later, Tong angrily shows his back on the ground, crying, pain scattered, notebook flying, his lunch crushes. Why does this keep happening to me? And then his breath caught. His eyes landed on the familiar assignment, lying perfectly on the bottom of the pile of his half-skippered. What? He blinked rapidly, wiping his tears. How? How does this even happen? It? A small, shaky smile tugged on his lip. Thank you, God. Thank you for saving me today. He clutched the assignment in his chest. From across the campus, Shankar watched him with a satisfied smile. Seeing the smile, his anxious smile, was worth everything for him. Tong hurried back into the class, the assignment in his hand. He rushed to the professor's desk, bowing deeply. I found it. Here, please, my assignment. The professor sighed, adjusting his glasses. Why didn't you submit it earlier, Kim Tong? If it was in your bag, why lie? Tong brushed her away. I didn't know it wasn't there before, but I found it now. The professor shook his head, exhaling heavily. Sit down. Whispers spread instantly across the classroom. See, he probably lied for attention. Or maybe he is losing his mind? What a freak. Jimini's only friend waved over with a reassuring smile. Forget them, they. Come sit. Tong sunk into the seat, clutching his notebook, ignoring the whisper that still hurt him. He couldn't explain it. How the assignment had appeared? He didn't want to think about it too much. Then, ting. His phone buzzed again. The desk. He glanced down at his blood-run cold, unknown number. Won't let you get humiliated. Tong eyes widened, his stomach dropped. He gripped the phone tightly, panicking. He typed shakily. Who are you? But before he could hit send, a sharp piece of chalk smacked against his desk. Professor. Kim Tong. The professor snapped from the front. Pay attention unless you want to be thrown out again. Tong shot up from his seat, heart racing, eyes glued to the backboard, but he couldn't focus on a single word because his phone screen still glowed faintly. Those words spread into his mind. Won't let you get humiliated. And somewhere, not too far away, stranger sat in silence, washing his phone in his hand, smirking beneath his mask. Tong sat cross-legged on the bed, textbooks spread around him. His pen twirled absent-mindedly in his fingers as his thought refused to stop. His eyes kept drifting to the table by the window. I knew I left it there. He whispered to himself. I remember putting the assignment down right here. Then, how did it end up in my bag? That's not possible. He frowned, lips pouting up unconsciously as he thought. Just then, ting. His phone buzzed. He picked it up hesitantly, already knowing what might sing. Unknown number. Don't think too much. You won't understand, butterfly. Tong breathed cock. His fingers went cold. How? He muttered, dropping the phone onto the bed as if it burned him. His chest rose and fell rapidly, panicking. The phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Oh, my baby, your phone will die if you throw it like that. Don't do it again. Tong burst under it. Baby, the word alone sent heat up his neck, but it was the new nickname, Butterfly, that made his heart squeeze painfully. He swallowed hard, hands trembling as he picked the phone back up. His thumb over the screen before he finally typed it. How do you know? I threw my phone. 3 dots appearing instantly. Unknown number. Because I'm watching you right now, Butterfly. Tong stood up, his wide eyes scanning the room in fear. The window, the corner, the shadow. His curtains were drawn. The door locked. He felt his heart beating in his ear. He typed quickly, hands shaking. Who are you? What do you want? Unknown number. I want nothing except you. And as for who I am, that doesn't matter. What matters is that I know everything about you. I know that you eat when you sleep, how you pout when you are confused. I even know the way your lips part when you read something difficult, just like right now. Tong breathed, he shut his lips instantly, horrified. His head shook as he typed, Stop this, please, don't message me again. He reply came instantly. Oh butterfly, don't say things you don't mean. You don't really want me to stop. Somewhere deep inside your heart is already fluttering for me. Thong's chest tightened. His throat felt dry. His phone buzzed again. And I like watching you panic. You look even prettier when you are scared. My delicate, trembling butterfly. Thong's entire body went cold. He hugged his knees to his chest, staring at the glowing screen as if it had a ghost. He was trapped between fear and a dangerous flutter in his heart he couldn't control. Thong's hand trembled as he picked up the phone again. His throat went dry and his heart hammered in his chest. Thong texting, "Who are you? How do you know this?" A few, a few seconds later, the three dots appeared. His stomach twisted. Unknown. Don't be scared, butterfly. I told you. I know much more. Thong's palm grew sweaty. He glanced around the room nervously, eyes starting to the closet curtain, the locket door, the bit of sweat rolling down his temple. This isn't funny. If this is some kind of joke, please stop it. Unknown. A joke? Do you think I'm laughing? No, baby, I'm serious. I know you are wearing a soft oversized white t-shirt right now. The one that falls off your shoulder? Cute. Thong breathed his shirt. He immediately looked down at himself. The t-shirt. The exact t-shirt. He shot up from his chair, rushing to the window, yanking the curtain aside. His heart nearly stopped when he saw nothing but darkness outside. Thong, where are you? Unknown. Close the window, butterfly. It's cold outside. I don't want to get sick. Thong slammed it shut with shaking hands, his chest heaving. His phone buzzed again. Unknown. Don't cry. I can't stand it when you cry. Thong froze, tears pooling in his eyes. Without realizing, his hand went numb. His phone almost slipped from his grip. Stop, please. Just stop. Unknown. You don't understand, baby. You are mine. You have always been mine. But don't cry. I will not text again to scare you, butterfly. Have a very sweet night. The room felt smaller, darker. Thong was gasping as he slowly backed against the wall, gripping his phone like a lifeline. Thong sniffed, hugging his knees on the bed as he stared at the silent full screen. Thong, murmuring to himself, did he really just stop texting because I cried? He said he can't see me in tears. Is that true? He pouted, refreshing the chat harder, hundred of times. Still nothing, not a single link. Minute later, a half an hour, then an hour. Thong groaned, throwing himself backward on the bed, his phone clutching tightly to his chest. Ash, why am I waiting for a stranger? Why does it hurt that he's not texting? But deep down he knew why. He had already gotten attached. Even the night came, Ty kept glancing at the phone, shakes puffed in a sulky pout. He better text me tomorrow or else. He didn't even know what or else meant, but his heart already ached at the thought of being ignored forever. A whole week had passed without a single text. Thong sat in a cafeteria with his food untouched, poking the rice with his spoon, sucking, pouting. Jimin watching him for a while before finally speaking. What are you doing? Why aren't you eating? Thong, nothing. Jimin narrowed his eyes. Don't lie. I have been noticing you for the past week. You have been so quiet. You were neither like this. You were always happy with me, even if not with others. Now you are just lost in thoughts. You are not yourself anymore. Thong sighed and pushed his phone toward Jimin. Jimin unlocked the screen and he froze as his eyes scanned the message. His jaw dropped. Jimin, this is serious. You should go to the police station and show them this. Thong eyes widened immediately. What if he kills me if I do that? Jimin, yeah, that's possible. He's a stalker. He could do anything. Who knows? He might even watching you right now. Tong nodded nervously. He said he watches me every second, every now. Maybe he is, or maybe not, who knows? Jimin, what do you mean, maybe not? Of course he must be. Tong pouted harder, lowering his gaze. I don't think so. Because he hasn't texted me for a whole week. Jimin face swarmed so loudly that the people at the next table looked over. Are you serious? You have been all sad and sulky because he stopped texting you? Tong nodded, pouting even more. Instead of looking guilty, only whined louder. But Jimin, listen, he said he can't see me cry, so he stopped texting me. Isn't that romantic? Jimin, absolutely losing it. Romantic? That's not romantic. That's psycho behavior. He knows your name, your class, your schedule. He is literally stalking you, Tae. Tong pouted harder, kicking his legs. But he is nice. He is worried about me. Jimin throws his hand in the air. Worried about you? No, he is manipulating you. This is exactly how they trap people in documentaries. They first sweet word, then obsession, then wow, you are locked in some basement. Tong's eyes widened, but instead of fear, he murmured softly, At least he cares about me. Watch me. Jimmy nearly fainted on the spot. Oh my god, you are impossible. I am calling your brother. That night, after searching with his phone for hours, Tong Dosari decided if he really cared, he wouldn't just disappear, right? He pouted, hugging his pillow tight, but then a notification lit up his screen. It wasn't from Jimin, not from the usual friend, it was from him. Stacia, don't pout, you look cute, but you will give yourself wrinkles. Tong froze, his lips trembled. Wait, what? How does he? He looked quickly typed back. What do you mean? How do you know I am pouting? No reply. His heart hammered. He beat his lip and typed again. Are you outside my house? Who are you? The reply came instantly. Nisha, don't be scared, baby. I just noticed you more than anyone else does. That's why I can tell. Tong breathed each. His hand shook as he dropped his phone on his lap. He noticed me. Jimin's voice echoed in his head. You don't even know this guy. What if he's some creep stalker? But then another message appeared. Stranger. And don't listen to Jimin. He doesn't get you like I do. Tong blood turned cold. Jimin. How does he know about Jimin? He covered his mouth with his trembling hand. The air in the room suddenly felt suffocating. His curtains swayed slightly with the night breeze. His phone buzzed again. Stranger. Don't cry, okay? I will never hurt you. I just want to keep you safe, always. And this time there was an attachment. A picture, it was Tong, taken just now, sitting on his bed, pouting. You pout too much. It's cute enough, though. Tong blinked, his heart skipped a beat. He hadn't told anyone who was pouting. How the hell you get my picture? And wait, why? Why it's the current picture? Who are you? No reply for a minute, then another message. Stranger, you always do when you are waiting for me. You are doing it right now, sitting with your knees folded up. Don't be scared, baby. I will not hurt you. I am just watching you because I care for you. Tong froze. His knees were pulled up, his chin resting on the top of them. He whispered, his head around the room. Closer. Tong, what the hell? Are you spying on me? Stacia, don't be scared, baby. I just like watching you. No one else sees you the way I do. The way your hair falls onto your eyes when you sulk. The way you nibble your bottom lip when you are anxious. It's beautiful. Tong's throat ran dry. His fingers shook as he typed. Stop. This isn't funny. Stacia, I'm not joking. You left your curtain half open tonight, careless butterfly. The pillow dropped from Tong's hand as his breath issued. He ran to the window, yanking the curtain shut so hard the rod nearly snapped. His throat, heart pounded in his ear. But just as he stepped back, his phone buzzed again. Stranger, don't bother. I have already seen enough. Tong stumbled back, his eyes darting around the room. A screen cog his throat. That night, after Jungkook lost his Tai clutched his phone like it was both poison and salivation. His chest felt tight, tears soaking the pillow as the screen stayed blank. No more notification, no more buzzing, no more word. It should have been a relief, but the silence is heavier than Stalker's obsession. Text even had Tai kept glancing at the window, at the shadow on the wall, at the faint crack in the wall. He whispered into the empty room. Good. It's good. He is gone, right? But when he checked his phone again, no new message. He cried harder. Jimin called. Worried after a week, Tai hung up earlier, but Tai didn't pick up. He was too afraid that Jungkook might somehow know, might be waiting for him to make a move. It wasn't until he drifted into restless sleep, eyes swollen, that his phone screen lit up again. A new message from Stalker. Jungkook, I will respect your command, Your Majesty. No more text, no more word, but don't forget, silence doesn't mean absence. Tai's heart stopped. He sat up, clutching his phone, his breath coming out shaky, his eyes looking around the room. Then another message buzzed in. Jungkook, sweet dream, don't cry too much. Your curtains are too thin. Something might see.